Siri. What a nice thing. You did what I told you to do. You're sad, but you love me. Well, that's nice of you to say. Man. Got a nice fire going. I don't know if I saw the thumbnail right back there. I might go sit closer to that for a minute. In fact, there's no might about it. I'm going over there now. Fuck all of you. I go sit on my uncomfortable little chair in front of my roaring fucking fire. Oh, yeah. That's better. That's real nice. That's nice. Gotta love daylight savings time. Oh, yeah. Don't you, though? Let's back off this motherfucker a little bit. It's a little too warm. A little too warm for my tastes. I did too good of a job building this fire today. I built a roaring blaze. You know you got a fire going when you hear that snap, crackle, pop. That means that it's not going out. Tough day to be a Raider, yeah. Yeah. Shit on by the fucking Giants. Oh well. I mean, it's not really a tough day to be a Raider. Just a normal day. We're used to it, trust me. Us Raiders fans, we're used to our team fucking sucking. Losing despite themselves constantly. You know. It's basically what they do. Dat one fool. Hey, buddy. Dat one fool was in the house, yo. Dude, everybody that I know that has a team, their team lost today. So the Saints lost today, the Raiders lost today. That's my team, Raiders. My stepdad, we were just over at their place tonight for dinner, and he's a Rams fan, and the Rams ate shit today. Just like, maybe I should pretend not to be a Raiders fan. Maybe I should start, like, rooting against the Raiders. Because I really do feel like at that point they'd probably win the Super Bowl. That's about how it goes. Oh, fuck. I need some marijuana. Scintillating content. How'd you guys like watching my porch from an angle? Is that every bit as fucking cool as I think it was? You guys like that shit? I should just turn one of these on one day and just leave it out here till the phone dies. Just be like, I'll be right back. I'll go get something to drink. And then just leave it on for like 4 hours. Dude, I bet people would be like, Paul died. Probably have like a wellness check called in on me. Dystopian water tank sounds like it's working good. Yeah, this little exchanger pump is really cool. Like, I've never seen a pump like that. It's like so quiet for the amount of water that it moves. It's pretty cool. How much of an artist's style is deliberate choice versus how much just what comes natural to them? I really don't know. I've never been an artist, so I can't really help you with that. I mean, I assume that it's a mix. I assume that there are artists that have different mixes as well. Like I assume that there are artists that have very few contemporaries and very few influences and just kind of did what they thought was right. And then there are probably artists that develop a style. I feel kind of bad. I saw TJ. TJ made a post today about the whole Travis Scott concert where people died. I guess 10 people now. And it was a typical like edgelord TJ post, you know. I don't think he was necessarily wrong. He was talking about how George Carlin talked about dangerous fun. You know, and he was talking about like how cowardly we've become as a society, that everybody's freaking out that a bunch of people came together and wanted to have some dangerous fun. So, you know, whatever. I mean, it's true. I'm not fucking on him, but like, I reposted it and posted a picture of a roller coaster doing a loop-de-loop. And TJ didn't get it. I thought he'd get it at first because I was trying to intimate that he's talking about like how much dangerous fun he likes to have, but he will not go on a roller coaster. And so I posted the picture of the roller coaster, and he responded to me. He was like, "Nah, man, roller coasters not all that dangerous. It's too controlled. Maybe a drunken, drive down a dark Kentucky back road or something." And then I had to like say the joke out loud. I responded to that, and I was like, "Dude, you won't even ride a fucking roller coaster that goes upside down. What are you talking about?" Like, I don't disagree with the sentiment, but come on, buddy. I wanted to ride a fucking roller coaster with TJ too. When we all went to What's that place? Universal? Yeah, Universal has a couple of cool coasters at it. I was trying to bully TJ into riding the rock and rollin' coaster with me because it looked like, it looked fun, but not too crazy. And he wouldn't ride it. Like, come on, man. Let's go on the rock and roller coaster. It's like, no. Might be a height thing. I don't think so. Dangerous fun, y'all. Dangerous fun. Oh, that helped. And will continue to help. A little bit of weed. That's what I needed. Yeah, Travis Scott's next album should have a really edgy name like Crush, Stampede, Broken Barrier. Trample World. Yeah. I mean, the concert thing was unfortunate, but these things happen from time to time. These things do happen from time to time, but they shouldn't. Like, there's this, I don't know, man. I feel like there is this, what a senseless tragedy mentality about people these days. And it's like, well, I'd say negligent accident, but I guess senseless tragedy will do it. Just like there are a number of ways where that shit could have been fucking stopped, and it wasn't. So hard to claim senseless tragedy at that point. Thank you, baby.
Sorry.
Well, it's a tragedy, I guess, in the strictest sense. But when a tragedy is utterly and completely preventable, it adds a whole different kind of layer to it for me. Scooch this closer to you.
Thank you. To do that. But your cut might be a little hot still. The Travis Scott thing.
Yeah. It's just talking about TJ's post earlier about dangerous fun and how it's gone away, and in your view, what was preventable about this situation. All right, I want you to do me a favor. You don't even have to fucking take my word for it. Right now, there's a subreddit, Public Freakout, which isn't hosting public freakouts. It's hosting example after example after example after example after example of artists who are on stage at big concerts stopping the concert to help somebody. Answer your own question. Travis Scott didn't call a halt to the concert until the ambulances were loading people up and shit. And by that time, it was too late.
It's not fucking complicated.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at you. It's your show. They're gonna listen to you.
Yep. I mean, I don't think that, you know, you said that people are going to try and blame the whole thing on Travis. I don't think the whole thing is his to own, but he has probably the lion's share of the blame for what happened. Because in that kind of a situation, and he was aware that there were problems going on. So it's not like you can claim that he had some kind of stage thing going on where he just, because that could be an excuse, you know, like if you had stage lights or a stage rig that just put you in a position where you really couldn't see the audience and he didn't know. But the footage that we've seen have him, you know what I mean? He's clearly aware that there's something going on, and he doesn't stop the concert. He doesn't do anything to help the people out in the crowd or even talk about it until the fucking ambulances are there loading up corpses. And it's just like, man, I tell you what, you go to that subreddit, go to public freakout, our public freakout, and it's right now, it should be called our concert safety or some shit, because it's literally like Guns N' Roses, Post Malone, fucking, just think of a band, think of a fucking act. Logic, the rapper, did a really good one. Like, totally, like, and when you're doing that kind of job, Travis Scott has been a performer for like 10 years now. He knows what a crowd crush is. He knows how much control he has over what the crowd does. So, hard not to pin the lion's share of the blame on him, especially considering that it's his fucking festival. He's not just a dude that played the festival. It's Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival. So he's not only the act, the headlining act, he's the producer of the whole fucking thing. So yeah, it's kind of hard for me to pick anybody else to blame. Who do you blame for it? The venue people, the security people that were on site, the concert people that saw what was happening and didn't use their means to fucking stop the show? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. They share a little chunk of the blame, but man, that person that's up there that fucking made all this happen, who has the best view of the venue of anybody,
The best control of it.
and the only one that has any control over the venue en masse. Because think about that shit, dude. What are you going to listen to? What do you think is going to command more of your fucking attention at a concert? A security guy or two going, back up, stop, back up. Or the artist going, yo, turn the lights on. Cut the lights on. We got people hurt down here. We need to, all right, everybody make way. Everybody look at me and make way. Split like this. We need to give some room to get these people out of here. We got people hurt. You know, everybody be safe. If you need to get a drink of water, like there's endless examples of this on Public Freakout right now. Just from the 90s to the current era. This is not like some kind of new fucking thing. Everybody that does this knows what a crowd crush is and knows how to control that crowd. Especially Travis Scott. Travis Scott has been playing fucking big-ass sold-out shows for 10 years or more. He knows what he's doing. I mean, there's a few of those things. Yeah, there's a few of those things where like the artist on stage will literally help their audience. Like the one that I saw that did the best job was Logic, dude. I'm not even a big fan of Logic. But that guy, he saw a couple people actually that needed help at one of his fucking venues, stopped the concert and managed to control that whole crowd so that they could get them out of there, and then gave them some tips on like, look, guys, you got to be careful, man. Here's what you do, you know what I mean? Make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're doing this. You know, we're here to have fun, but we don't want anybody getting hurt. We don't want anybody getting, you know, to the hospital for this. You know, that's all it would have took to stop what happened last night. And then you couple that with the fact that Travis Scott has a history of these types of things happening at his concerts and a history of encouraging them. There's footage of him encouraging people to rush the barrier and break it down. There's footage of him encouraging a fan to jump off of a speaker stack that he'd climbed onto, and the fan ended up falling and breaking his fucking legs. So this guy has been fucking not doing right as a performer for a while now. Has anything like this even come close at an ICP concert? Fuck no. And see, that's the second pit. There's like a if I were to like try and make everybody in that audience safe and walking into that audience to know like what you need to do in a big fucking crowd like that that's raging, you got to start local. Like for me, I learned crowd etiquette. I didn't learn crowd etiquette at my first big fucking venue. I knew it before I went there. I learned my crowd etiquette at a little pool hall watching a punk show. You know what I mean? Probably 200 people there. And it's just like the same shit, the same rules apply, bro. You know, and it's like my training wheels pit. And then when I went and saw Meshuggah and Tool, it was a whole different situation. When I went and saw the Summer Sanitarium tour, that was a whole fucking there were multiple pits in that crowd. Not just one. There were multiple raging ass pits in that crowd, but maybe not everybody, but most of the people that were there knew the etiquette to keep that from turning into a big fucking deal. And, you know, like a Juggalo show, that's like your second pit. That's like your training wheels are off and you get to ride your bike around the block for the first time pit. Then you go to like a wall of death metal pit after that. You know, that's your graduation. And see this, there were pits and stuff going on, but this was something else. This was like crowds surging at the stage. Yeah. This was mostly youngsters, mostly like Zoomies, a lot of whom maybe hadn't been to a whole lot of shows or at the very least had not been to a show with 50,000 people at it. And this was also a lot of pent up COVID angst. Oh, yeah, everything back to normal, let's go rage. So people were probably taking more drugs and not drinking as much water as they normally would because the hype level was there. And it's just like that coupled with poor management of the crowd by the artist and by the management. There's no fucking way that 8 people should die at a goddamn concert. No fucking way. Or is it 10 now? I think it is. I think I read it was 10 people have croaked from this. Like, dude, if one person goes down and dies at a show, it's fucking out of control. I mean, I think he cares. I don't know that he cares for the reason that people think he cares. You know what I mean? I watched his apology video, and I ain't no body language expert, but that seemed real forced. You know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe he was just nervous. Maybe he was very sad and devastated, but it didn't come off that way. It came off as, this is how I'm supposed to look when I'm sad and devastated. He already apologized. He already made a whole ass fucking video about it. Yeah, he already did like a 5-minute video about it. So yeah, he's already done it. Dude, you can guarantee, and there's a reason for that too. Beyond him just feeling like he should do it, that is fucking his lawyers. You got to understand, like, this dude knows that he's liable for some of this shit. At the very least, there's going to be wrongful death lawsuits that are going to come out of his ass. At the very least. So he knows, trust me, he knows he's flirting with legal trouble. Dude, did you see the video earlier in the day where people just broke down one of the barriers and ran into the venue for free? They already had an incident earlier in the day that should have tipped them off that this crowd was a problem. There's a video from earlier in that day where a bunch of people almost died before the concert. Go watch the video. There are people broke down the little fucking metal barrier and just started scrambling into the venue. And once people saw, oh my God, they opened up a hole in the fence, a crowd crush happened. And a bunch of people were tripping over the gate, falling, getting trampled. Already. This is before Travis Scott. This was when the sun was still up. This was to get in and ride the Ferris wheel and eat cotton candy and shit. They should have known then that this crowd was fucking a little bit different, and they should have had extra fucking shit on stage. They should have had extra security there. Fucking Travis Scott should have had a fucking talk with the people at some point before the show, or had somebody come out and talk to him before the show, because there was every sign that this was going to happen. Like I said, you go watch that first video, the video from earlier in the day, when people busted down a barrier and fucking... There's 2 or 3 people when you're watching that video, if you know what you're looking for, that almost die. At least 3. There are people that go down and then people are stepping over them and tripping, and I'm just going like, oh, fuck. That was before. I was confused. A bunch of people were like, remember when the news of this came out last night, it was like 8 people dead at Astroworld concert. And I was like, off of that? 8 people died in that fucking crowd surge to get into it? And then I was like, wait. There was another one? What the fuck? Shit show of a venue, dude. Shit show of a venue. Not enough security, not enough police presence. Anytime you get 50,000 people fucking together for something, there should be police. There should be enough fucking police and security there to make sure that that crowd is cool. And dude, there was nobody stopping these fucking people. That first video where they just fucking shoved down a gate and then just like, I don't know, a couple hundred people just ran in while the person was filming. I don't know how many more. There was not a fucking security guard, not a cop. It's like, this is what we're paying you fucks for? Why are there always 15 of you there for a fucking, you know, possible domestic violence call or some shit? Dude, you get a call that, like, somebody's having a fight in their apartment, fucking 10 of these oinkers show up. There wasn't one? $50,000 people? Unbelievable. The Hillsborough disaster, 96 people. I remember that. Was it the Hillsborough? There was something in Europe not that long ago, some kind of festival, and there was a tunnel that they fed people under to get into the venue, and that the crowd crush happened in that tunnel. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? Is that the Hillsborough thing? I swear to God, we covered it on DP back in the day. And I remember it. Something in Europe, some kind of fucking music festival in Europe, and something happened, and there was a stampede to get out of it or to get into it, and they took them through this, like, you know, like a little underwalk tunnel type of thing, and there was a crowd crush that happened in that tunnel as people were trying to get into it and out of it. I don't know if that's the Hillsborough disaster, but I shit you not, that happened. I remember reading about that shit. I remember we covered it.
Do you think the open pits are safer where it's like not sunken in, like where there's an escape?
I mean, yeah, for sure. But with that many people, unless you're doing it like literally in the middle of the fucking desert, you're not going to have room. You know, venues. Somebody, I don't know if it's true, but somebody said that the venue that this was at was rated for 20,000 people, and there were 50,000 people there. So it was over double capacity.
So I see why people want to sue Live Nation
Oh
now
my
for allowing that many tickets to be sold in the venue.
Well, that's the thing. Did you see the video from the earlier part of the day?
No.
There was a fucking group of people that, as they were letting them in, because Astro World Fest, it starts as like a fair. You go there and there's like rides and carnival rides and shit. They were letting people in at like noon, and people broke down a barrier, and a bunch of people almost died in a stampede because people were just like, fuck it, we're going in free. And there were like 200 people that came in, and people were falling down and getting stepped on and shit already when the sun was up. So like I said, dude, that venue and the people running it and Travis Scott and everybody involved knew that crowd already was fucking out of control.
Yeah. They should have ejected the people that broke through the barrier.
Or at the very least, had Travis Scott or somebody come out on stage to start it and be like, look, if this crowd gets too rowdy, we will shut this down. You guys are going to have to be safe and respectful. We're all here to have fun. Don't push up against these barriers. And if somebody needs help, you fucking signal for help. You make room for people to get in and out. You know what I mean? There needed to be some kind of admonishment of that fucking crowd and some kind of preparation from them. And really, like, sending somebody else out ain't the way to do it. I know Travis Scott probably don't want to open his show walking out and saying, hey, before I start. That's not the cool way to do it. That's not like toasting up out of the stage with wings on or some shit. But I tell you what, it would have saved those people's fucking lives. 100%. If he would have chilled that fucking crowd out and let them know I'm watching, that probably alone would have been enough to save those people's lives. Wasn't done. So, there you go.
I don't think I'd even want to think about being in a mass of humanity like that now. Would you ever do it again?
No.
Everyone's sweaty.
And it's, yeah, for me, it's not out of fear.
Yeah.
I've done it too many times to really fear it.
Yeah.
I'm a little more wary of it now in the COVID era, but
Yeah. Beyond that, just
taking that and setting that aside.
and everyone's touching you where you don't want to be touched.
Yeah, I mean, I went through, like, look, dude, I had my fucking younger years and shit. And when I was there, I went to those types of things, but I just can't even, I can't even imagine going. Like, I would go to a concert now, no sweat, you know what I mean? I'm fine going to a concert. It's just like these festivals. I think I've had enough, you know? I think I've been to enough.
I've given up on their fucking D'Antwoord tickets that we bought.
Yeah, that ain't never gonna happen. Misread. It was actually rated for 200,000, but the fire department limited it to 50,000. Well, because it's on the Astroworld Festival is on the grounds of the now defunct theme park Astroworld. Astroworld was a theme park owned by the Houston Astros that was real popular in the 80s, and I think it closed in the early 2000s. And it's just this big kind of vacant space now, and that's why the festival is called Astroworld. Is, you know, it's trying to tickle everybody's nostalgia about when Astroworld used to be open, and for a day Astroworld is back open. So yeah, it makes sense. I know that the whole fucking venue wasn't Astroworld. They packed people into a place around the stage, and that place, who knows what that was rated for? You know what I mean?
It was a pop-up thing basically, so they've never really used it as that kind of venue before, I imagine.
Well, he's done this before.
Yeah.
This isn't the first Astro Fest or whatever the fuck.
Where he's done like a pop-up.
Yeah, he's done his concert there before. This wasn't the first one, to my knowledge, unless I'm mistaken.
No, I just mean like it's not like a established venue with established rules. If it's just a pop-up.
But they should rate it still. Yeah. They should look at the area and say, all right, how many people can we safely pack into this for a fucking concert? And something tells me 50,000 was a little high.
Yeah.
You know, you get 50,000 people in a venue, you're usually in a big, giant bowl arena.
Yeah, where some people are sitting.
Not only that, but where there are multitudes of emergency exits and multiple ways of getting down and out of it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not in a weird fucking corner of a fenced-in, defunct fucking amusement park. You know what I mean?
So like these giant-ass things would be better off in like established venues with established fucking rules.
With that many people, yeah. I mean, I don't know. But see, you think about it though, like Lollapalooza. You know, there were more than 50,000 people go to that. Tibetan Freedom back in the 90s and back in 96 was fucking huge. Live Aid back in the 80s and early 90s. I mean, they used to get 100,000 people into a big open venue like that. So it can be done. But it just wasn't this time. You know what I mean? Like, there's no fucking excuse for it. You know what? I gotta be honest with you, too. There's a lot of people that share a tiny little sliver of blame for this. Just the people that were there, that instigated, that passed out drugs, that, you know, whatever it was, whatever they did that was fucking irresponsible, acted a fool in the concert, making more of a crowd crush happen. There's a lot of people that got blood on their hands with this shit because, you know, it's like anytime human beings get together in those numbers, it's a group effort to make sure that everybody goes home. Period. Because you got to understand the destructive power of 50,000 people turning on each other, panicking, not looking out for each other, scrambling for something. That fucking shit, dude. It's unbelievable. You tear a building down with it. So, and I'm not the only person that knows this shit. This is not like uncommon knowledge. These people that run these venues have known this since the fucking 60s. And they started doing these big fucking giant everybody can come music festivals and shit. They had to start figuring shit out.
You know what's crazy is, ironically, the January 6th thing, no one got trampled to death, which is incredibly surprising.
Did they? I thought there were a couple of people that died at that. And
yeah, but they weren't trampled to death. I think it was the cop had like a heart attack, and then...
Yeah. That definitely looked like the type of place where some trample dample would have went down.
Yeah.
Dude, some of that footage I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
Like, we watched the...
Hours of the Capitol.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
It was like a Showtime HBO documentary or whatever that shows a lot of the collected footage from that day. And fuck, dude, there was some crazy shit that happened that day that I didn't even know about.
I know this though. Congress needs better windows. Because their windows just like
I can almost guarantee you that those have been replaced with some bulletproof fucking windows and shit. That was just crazy, man. Congress needed better everything. It was just
they had no evacuation plan.
No evacuation plan, no plan of how to get cops in and out of it, no plan to it was just dude, there was one shot.
Yeah.
There's a shot in that I'd never seen before, and it's a bunch of people, and they were talking about how there were several different battles at different entry points to get into the Capitol grounds. And one of them was this little side stairwell, and the cops tried to hold people back, but they couldn't, and the people started going up. And at one point, this person walks to the top of those steps and turns his camera around to look at the National Mall, and it is fucking filled. It's like a shambling zombie horde making its way to the Capitol. I was like, oh my fucking God. The military should have been there.
Immediately.
And like, fucking bring out the choppers, bring out the tear gas. That shit made me like catch my breath when I saw it. I had no fucking clue that there were that many people involved in this. Unbelievable, man. Just broadcasted to the world how easy it'd be to attack our government. Yeah. I'm dead serious. No shit.
The scariest thing was just like how easy it was.
It was just like, wait a minute. There's a joint session of Congress going right now. So we're not talking about just the House or just the Senate. We're talking about a joint session.
Yeah.
And the vice president is there.
Yeah.
And people were able to just waltz into the fucking Capitol with token resistance. It's unbelievable, bro. I will say that there were a couple of fucking legends there. That dude that fucking smoked a spliff in the Grand fucking Dome or whatever. Like, who's ever going to get the chance to do that again?
Yeah.
Even if you got fucking 20 years, when you get out in 20 years, bro, you still smoked a spliff in the Capitol Dome. He's like, man, I got some sour diesel. And he just like sparks a big old J. I was like, that guy, okay. Everybody else, domestic terrorist. That guy, legend.
Yeah, no one got trampled to death. There was that chick, Ashley Babbitt, that got shot.
Yeah.
And then cardiovascular disease, amphetamine intoxication.
Right.
So how did they not trample anyone to death, but fucking 8 people at this concert did?
Who the fuck knows, bro? What do you think would have happened if they were BLM supporters or Antifa? There would have been a massive military stop. All you have to do to answer that question, actually, is look at when BLM marched on fucking DC in 2020.
Yeah.
Just go look at some pictures. You know what you'll see in every one of those pictures? Stormtroopers, riot shields, riot gear. And this was for a fucking peaceful protest. This wasn't a mob of fucking angry Southerners looking to fucking kill politicians.
That had broadcast their intentions for weeks.
Yep.
They had t-shirts made and all that shit.
Yep.
It had to be enabled by some people in there.
100%. 100% this was allowed to happen by people that were in power. And that's really the scary part about it is that the people that let this happen, and Trump is at the top of that list, they'll never fucking be prosecuted for it. They're going to prosecute all the people that did it that day, but they're not going to prosecute the people that made the decision not to call in the fucking military that day, made the decision not to call in the military once they saw it fucking going crazy, made the decision to sit around on their hands for 2 hours before saying something, Trump.
Yeah, it's like they whisked out Pelosi.
Yep.
And just left everyone else with their thumb up their ass.
Yeah, they got Pelosi's old crippled ass out of there. And then they just left the rest of the fucking leadership of the United States ducking under chairs and the fucking thing.
The people up in the balcony that didn't get evacuated. Just like,
Yeah. I agree that it was clearly allowed to happen, but to whose benefit? What end did it accomplish? Dude, there are two types of people in America. There are people that look at January 6th and go, and there are people that look at January 6th and go, that's why it was allowed to happen. It radicalized a fuck ton of the Republican Party. They saw those people waltz into the halls of fucking power, and dude, that's...
And people don't realize how close they got to Congress. Like, the one person that was shot because they could literally, like, make eye contact with Congress members.
They were whisking Congress out through a back way, and there was a big horde of people at that door. That's where Ashley Babbitt was shot. And she was shot because she was trying to jump through a window while members of Congress were being fucking... Play stupid games, win stupid fucking prizes, dude. And what do you think their intent was? Because there were just a few cops there holding back people from busting that door down. If they were to bust that door down, what do you think would have happened? What was the intent?
Were they gonna just shake fucking Chuck Schumer's hand?
I'd like to talk to you as a constituent. No. They were fucking bloodthirsty. They had been battling and punching cops and shit outside. What do you think they were gonna do? Nothing says freedom like Confederate flags, zip ties, and personal body armor, yeah. Why does that help America? It wasn't designed to help America. It was designed to damage America. It was designed to damage the electoral process and free electoral system in this country. That was the point. It was not meant to help America.
Yeah, like they made a really good point in that too. It's like they were in like the bunker in the congressional building, but they're like, we're not going to leave the congressional building, because if we leave, then it's just them in there, and then it's a coup if they push out every fucking member of government,
right?
And they hold it.
I don't think it was done. Like I don't think it was done by like the elite or whatever. I think this was a Donald Trump operation. He was the president. He's the commander in chief. He has the final say so. Mm-hmm. So he and corrupt officials that enabled him around Washington, D.C. did this, not to help America, but to try and install Donald Trump as the president of the United States.
Their theory was, we push out Congress, we're holding it.
Yep.
Then they declare martial law.
Yep.
And then Trump gets to be president forever.
Trump gets to be president. Like, people don't understand this. So let me, like, fucking be very serious. This was not done by some secret cabal. This was not some Pelosi plan or whatever the fuck. This was Donald Trump and his loyalists attempting a coup. The idea was to make it so that Congress could not do their business that day. Trump declares martial law, and all bets are off. They can make the numbers whatever they want. You just don't understand if you think that it was anything else. This was not just a protest that got out of control. This was a concerted effort by politicians in power to stage a fucking coup. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's very similar to Hitler's beer hall putsch. Or Pook, or whatever it is. I don't speak fucking German. Why didn't it succeed? Because the people perpetrating it literally stopped it. Like, you have to understand, like, I don't, and I'm not trying to make excuses for the dumb fucks, but I think that everybody that busted into that place realized, uh-oh. Like, it's like, you need to understand, like, crowd dynamics are different from personal dynamics. I'm not saying that that was a group of good people or whatever that was there. I'm just saying if you take those people in a microcosm, they never would have done that. Alone, they never would have just, I'm storming the fire, whatever, come what may. Crowd psychology, it's like it feeds on itself. It becomes like a crowd of sufficient size and at a sufficiently elevated emotional level becomes an organism. And information is transferred via body language and shouts and through the nervous system of the organism, and people go into a fucking mode that doesn't exist in their day-to-day. You know what I mean?
I think finally stopped when like Trump put like a tweet out or something, and then
Yeah.
they saw the tweet and they're like, oh, Trump called it off. So
Right.
some of them took a little bit longer to leave than others, but ultimately it was Trump calling it off.
Yeah, it was ultimately them realizing, like, okay, Congress got out, and we're all fucking gonna go to jail if we sit here. So people started, like, that self-preservation shit kicked in. When they were fucking 100,000 strong or 80,000 strong or whatever it was, surging up the fucking boulevard towards Congress, they were unstoppable. There were a token amount of police there, and they just ran them over. But then, once they got into the Capitol and realized, holy fuck, we're kind of hemmed in here, then that fucking self-preservation instinct kicked in with enough of the crowd that they were like, all right, this has gone far enough, let's go. That's why it stopped. That's it. I don't even really honestly think it had much to do with Trump making that announcement.
Yeah, you just think it finally.
I think it was more this, like, the fucking adrenaline.
Inside
Right.
the actual, like, halls of Congress and sat in Pelosi's seat and all that shit.
Yeah,
And
they got in there and, like, the fucking adrenaline rush, and then that fucking post-adrenaline rush clarity, that post-nut clarity set in, and they were like, did we all just commit a bunch of treason in here? We might want to, like, let's, you know what, let everybody, all right, guys, we're going to go out. That's what happened. It was like the getting into the Congress and pushing past all those police barriers and shit. There was just this surge of fucking psychotic adrenaline amongst that crowd. And when it dissipated, as it always does, you know, they'd gotten past the cops. They'd achieved their goal. They were sitting in Pelosi's fucking desk chair and, you know, memeing around in the Capitol, smoking joints and shit. And I really think that at that point, a lot of the people involved in that shit just decided, you know what, maybe we ought to go. They did. People did shit in there. You say they should have just taken dumps all over their desks before leaving. I don't know if they took dumps all over their desks, but people shit and pissed in Congress.
Apparently they stole AOC's shoes.
They stole a pair of AOC's shoes. One dude stole a lectern.
Yeah.
Walking around with it. They grabbed paintings off the walls in some cases. People just walked off with shit. Like, I really don't think the gravity and magnitude of, like, what actually went down that day set in for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that kind of, like, downplay it. Even on the left, they're just like, oh, these stupid fucking drooling maggots, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, bro, this is way, way deeper than the individual people that were there.
Yeah, like, it was literally a hair's breadth of someone, like, going face to face with the bulk of Congress.
Yeah. There could have been a fucking lynching that day.
Yeah.
Multiple lynchings, killings, shootings.
If that shot hadn't killed Ashley Babbitt, I don't know if they would have turned around. They probably wouldn't have.
That's another thing too. That
was
once
a tactical shot.
Right. Once that reverberated, like, they killed somebody in there. I think that might have been because, like, when all that was going on, there were still people outside funneling in.
Yeah. And that was their argument. They killed Ashley Babbitt, and it's like, you want her to get help? You got to clear the way.
Yeah. And but I think seeing her bloody fucking corpse being dragged out of there sobered a lot of people up.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, we should probably go now.
Because that's going to be my corpse next.
Which leads me to believe that what should have happened is they should have plugged a few people on the steps.
Yeah, before they got in.
Yep.
Because that's all it really took. It was a combination of Trump's statement, Ashley Babbitt being shot.
They should have just capped a couple of people on the fucking steps.
They would have done that if they were BLM.
Yep. They would have done more than that if they were they would have machine gunned them before they ever got within a mile of Congress.
Not that you wanted more death, but that they would have ended it faster. For damn sure.
It wouldn't have been more death.
Yeah.
If they would have stopped that thing before it got out of control, those people didn't just happen to have a heart attack that day. They had heart attacks because they were fucking fighting back a giant crowd for hours. So the people that died that day, including Ashley Babbitt, would probably be alive. Would have been three other people. Just a few warning shots in the air at the steps. Well, here was the problem with that. They didn't have sufficient people there to do that.
If they didn't shoot to kill, like, one shot would be returned with 5 shots.
Right. There were a fuck ton of armed people in the crowd.
Yeah, like a cop said that, like, somehow he got his hands on someone else's gun. Like, he'd found
Yeah.
it on the ground, like, it fallen out of someone's pocket.
He said that they were pushing that barrier back.
Yeah.
And they finally decided, like, we can't hold them back. We're going to go back up the steps and to the next level where they're setting up another barrier. And he said that when that barrier fell, as he was running up the steps, he heard one of the dudes trip, and his gun clattered out of his pocket and skidded across right in front of him at the cop as he was running. And so the cop just picked it up and stuffed it in his pocket. And he said he ended that day, and at the end of the day, he was going through his shit, and he realized he had somebody else's fucking gun in his pocket. So this was, like, there would have had to been a sufficient show of force there. Like pretend it was BLM. You know, if there would have been stormtroopers and the fucking radar, whatever they call them, sonic cannons and the water cannons and the tanks, those motherfuckers wouldn't have got within a mile of Congress, and the ones that started shit would have gotten beat up. And that would have been enough to make the other ones that maybe were thinking about starting shit turn around and go on home. And that's
like,
the way it
especially on the
goes.
Capitol steps, there was just so much humanity there. It's like every shot you set off could be returned.
Oh, yeah. Think about it, dude. Even if like 10% of that crowd was armed in some fashion, it's like 8,000 people with guns.
There were not 8,000 cops. They were like, probably by the very end of it, before the actual military finally stumbled in, there were like 800 cops total.
Yeah. I want to know all the higher ups who refuse to send back up the cops. You never will. You just never will. I mean, you can look into it. You can look into who was in power at that point and what the chain of command was, and those are the people that are complicit. Those people and the people adjacent to the president in positions of power that saw it happening and did nothing to stop it.
You had someone in the intelligence agencies that didn't pass on the very clear and obvious signs that it was being planned.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take a fucking genius to figure out what they were trying to do that day.
You want to know what's sad? The only dude that I give a fucking pass that was close to Trump is Pence, because there is no way that he decided to have a coup that wanted to lynch him on the day that he was going to be there. You know what I mean? He's like, his hands, at least in this, are clean. But everybody else in that fucking administration sat on their fucking hands and did nothing. So fuck them all. They're all complicit. They're all responsible. And the day that America rounds up a fucking whole political cabinet for criminal wrongdoing is the day I sprout wings and fly into the fucking sun, bro.
I think it was Pence that finally did call in the National Guard because Trump just wouldn't do it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Shed a single sliver of a tear for Pence.
Okay. Are you chilly? Are you a chilly willy? Oh.
Yeah, little man. Warm
Yeah.
him up.
You want to go inside? What kind of tea is this?
I got you chamomile. It's just like vanilla chamomile.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Does the fire look okay? It does. It's still going
Probably
good.
don't gotta start worrying about it till the flames get like in the thing, huh?
What do you mean?
Like the height of the flames gets shorter than the barrel. Is that when it needs more juice?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I can still hear it snapping and crackling. Yeah, I'll keep it going. I don't know how long I'll be able to do this tonight because my battery was only about 2/3 charged when I started it, so it'll be, you know, I don't want to. I don't even think I have the means anymore to. Oh yeah, I could. I guess I could hook up a fucking charger if I wanted to. We'll see what happens when it comes.
Wait, no, they fucked it up because of the.
Well, they've got. I
pump.
can pull that cover back though, and there's a second plug there. See it? So yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, they installed a dual plug there, which is what it should have anyway.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't have been a dangling extension cord like ever. So they actually gave a free upgrade to the house.
Yeah.
Very nice of them.
It's probably for the best we couldn't buy this place. There's probably more wrong with it than it looks like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's a shame. I really do think that, like, because here's the thing. That all comes out in disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
You both, when you're selling a house, unless you agree to a direct sale, which you never do.
Unless you're like a professional
Right.
house
You
flipper or some shit.
hire competing fucking, not competing, but just separate fucking people to come in and do the inspections, and then you take both of those reports, and the things that show up on both reports, I mean, it's not that way to a T, but usually those are the things that have to be hashed out. So then at that point, the buyer says, okay, I'll assume the cost out of the price of the house. So it's going to take $10,000 due to my estimate to replace the roof. That's what happened when I bought my first house. So there was, we decided to buy the house, it goes into escrow, and that's when everybody goes and does the inspections and shit, right? And they found at the house that I bought, they found termite damage on the outside wall, and they found that the roof only had about 2 years on it. And so the people that were selling were motivated sellers, and so they were like, look, all right, fine, we will take the $10,000 hit, you know what I mean, we'll drop the price $10,000, and that will go to a repairman that we will contract. And so that we didn't get to like choose our roofing company or whatever. They picked a roofing company, and they gave us a decent roof, you know, what they call a 30-year roof or whatever. Fixed the termite damage and inspected the rest of the house for any more termites and treated the area for termites before we ever moved in. So that's the way it works. So if we had them come out and look at this house and they were like, all right, the electrical's fucked because that box there is fucking 80 years old and it's wired incorrectly in there, and the roof needs to be replaced in 2 years, and
That roof probably has asbestos in it.
and there's asbestos. There is asbestos. I can almost guarantee you the popcorn ceilings in our house are fucking asbestos. And so it's like, they'll find that. And so it's like all of that shit will come to the fore, and that goes into the price. And you either have to say, like, they either have to go like, fuck you, we want to find somebody that's willing to assume all of that cost themselves it's as is, in which case, you know, that's a tactic they can take. But yeah, you get the choice. There was no way I would buy this house and assume every bit of that unless they dropped the fucking price to cover the repairs. I'd be happy to do all the contracting for the repairs and all that shit myself. But let's get a fucking estimate and drop this house down to a fucking reasonable level. And then, of course, I would want mitigating money because of the dry well. It's going to cost me between 25 and 40 grand to get a fucking 20-year well put in here. You guys got me, you got a big giant fucking county tank sitting on, that's worth something. And so the idea was, if they were motivated to get out from under this house, which they should be, because when the prices go down, this is going to be the least desirable type of property for people.
Yeah.
So they ought to get it out from under them, knowing all of this shit, but they're stupid.
They're seeing the short term.
Yep.
Like, oh, we can save money staying in this house short term.
Yep. It's just like, okay, well, you end up sitting on a rotten egg, and it's just like, we're the perfect type of people for this.
Yeah.
You know, we could slowly but surely put money into this house and fix up, you know, the problems that it has and make it functional. But you know, it is what it is. I don't necessarily want to live this close to the fucking West Coast right now. It's just, the drought maps don't lie. This place is dying. It's turning into a desert. It's going to be non-functional soon. And that's, yeah, the proof is in the pudding. I can look at it. I can hear it every time somebody flushes the toilet or turns on the sink. Yeah, I'd say that this house, I mean, I'm not a fucking real estate person, but knowing what I know about comps in the area and shit, and the age of this house and the amount of problems, I would say that a fair price for it would be something like, in this market, $200,000 top. And that's like land mostly. Like, yeah. It's like,
I mean, it would have been $250 if the well hadn't gone out.
Yeah, if the well was fucking in good working order and shit and sounded out good, yeah, dude, you could do a $250 on a place like this and not take a bath on it if you're planning on just living your life out here. But they're gonna probably want to try and get like something like $300, $350 for this fucking place, and they're never gonna find a person that's gonna pay $350,000, especially after the fucking inspectors come. This place looks like a dog, and it's way worse than it looks. So
they're gonna sit on it like an egg, and then they're gonna want to get rid of it in 5 years, and it's gonna be worth jack shit.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back and sauce on them and buy it for a fucking song and just flip it.
Like, come back 5 years later.
Come back 5 years later while they're still living here and go through and inspect it.
Yeah.
Be like, I don't know about this right here. It's going to be good living here. Dude, I have people, a couple of people here that watch the property that I grew up in. I want to know when that motherfucker goes for sale. Because if the price is right, snag it. Dude, the real trick with that would be to build up some capital as a real estate person, and then buy the house I grew up in and the one that was built on what used to be my backyard, because they sold half of that property off and made a lot. Buy both of those houses, tear down the other one.
I just want to see that second house explode.
Yeah.
You want to just...
I do. I hated the people that bought my house. Me and my sister both have this complex about it.
Yeah.
She'll talk the same way about it.
Yeah, you think she's keeping an eye on it?
She's one of my people.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think it's the same people, to be honest with you. The house sold again in the 90s. I was a fucking teenager. I couldn't do it.
You know what you need?
Hmm.
If that does come to pass, fuck hiring someone to knock down the second house. Just fucking everyone gets a sledgehammer.
Fuck that, dude. Rent a bulldozer.
Yeah. Just
Fucking knock that motherfucker into dust. Dude, one of the proudest moments of my life is what happened was when my parents got a divorce, they were also going through a bankruptcy, which you can imagine made things real sweet. And not to disclose too personal of information or whatever, but my mom kind of went into a place where it probably, like, she was fine, I guess, but it probably was not the best environment for kids. My mom was always kind of a partier, and after the divorce started, she dealt with it by just drinking all day, every day, and partying all day, every day. And so that was probably not the best place for children, and so we ended up going with my dad. But somehow, my dad didn't end up with the house. My mom did for that purpose, and so we literally lived in a fucking trailer. Not even a trailer, my bad. My dad lived in a trailer. We lived in a camper shell, my sister and I. A camper shell that is something that you put on a pickup, not pull behind it. And we lived there for over a fucking year, right across the street from our fucking house. We lived on our neighbor's land, happened to be my best friend, which was cool. Yeah, it's cold, and it sucked, but we were just not.
you don't understand Paul's seething hatred. Hopefully now you do.
So, needless to say, I was a little salty. One day, my friend and I were watching them plow my horse's field. And right on the other side of they'd taken down our fence. And right on the other side of that, my friend and I had a secret. And this is going to sound a little weird, but you got to understand the mentality of 80s kids. We had to do a lot of shit outside, okay? And we had basically, without really intending to, dug a fucking grave, okay? The reason we dug this was to have the ultimate hide-and-go-seek spot. Because all the kids in the neighborhood would play, like, this really cool country version of hide-and-go-seek where you could go, like, pretty much anywhere on your property. And then people had to go try and find you. And so my friend and I dug a big grave. And then we took this old rusty fence that my dad had replaced with a new one that was just piled up. And we put it over it, and it fit perfect. And then we took and we would go and grab like handfuls of weeds. And we tied the weeds to the bars of the gate. So it just looked like the ground.
Yeah. So that way you didn't have to bring new leaves every time you hit
Right.
it. Right.
It was rigged.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I knew it was there. And my best friend knew it was there. But nobody else knew it was there because it was the fucking... You don't tell people where the secret fucking hide-and-go-seek spot is. Especially not your parents. I was posted up. We were riding bikes. And I was posted up on the street. right in front of what used to be my horse pasture. And I was watching them plow the field. And I didn't say a word, but I looked at my best friend when it started pulling closer and closer to the grave. I just kind of gave him a look, like, and implicit in that look that we gave each other was like, nobody knows about that. And sure enough, they were pulling, a tractor with a big, that bar plow behind it. Well, got right to the edge of the grave, and that fucking, I shit you not, the bar plow went and fell into that fucking grave. That cost somebody's job, probably. At least cost somebody some money. Revenge. But that's not the ultimate revenge. That's just part of my revenge. No, I mean, the rest of it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
The full revenge story can't be told because it still hasn't happened. It involves me purchasing my house back, or getting it back by hook and crook.
Yeah.
Restoring it to what it once was.
Yeah, it's either buying it or getting on the city council and agreeing to fucking eminent domain it.
For me.
Yeah.
This is eminent domain for me. I don't know how I'll do it.
They do that. Like, you know what happened? There was like this little roadside coffee stand in my neighborhood that was right where the bus stop was. The city eminent domained it, kicked out the person that had that coffee stand, and then sold it to another person to move into that coffee stand.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
But someone fucking greased some fucking wheels, like, probably got it so, like, their sister can fucking set up there. It's like, oh, well, eminent domain this. Take it back.
Yeah.
You can have it.
Man, oh man. You know what would really fucking disgust me too is once I do gain possession of the house, go inside and see what they have done to it over the last 30 years. Like all the shit design choices that they've made and the remodels that they've done to what was just a beautifully designed house. The stink.
That's where the hammers come in. You bulldoze the second house, but you get the hammers from the first house.
I'm getting the original fucking blueprints for that house that are on file with the fucking county, and I'm putting it back. Whatever they fucked, it's going back. Along with the stink that they leave behind. Phew. I don't even know if I'd want to live there.
Yeah,
I just want to take it.
Yeah, restore it.
I just want to take it and have it.
Although the biggest irony in the world would be, in the process of doing all of that, you fucking fall into your grave again. I just never filled it.
Yeah, I'm like, I made it back on my land. Oh no, the grave. I can't move.
You gotta keep remembering where the grave is.
I know where the grave is.
Double check it.
Trust me, the grave ain't there. Once that fucking thing fell in it, they filled the grave. Trust me, they didn't keep the grave. They probably wondered over it for fucking days, to be honest with you. They were like, some kind of fucking torture pit. Because that shit really did, we didn't think of it that way, but thinking back on it, it really was like some kind of like, a serial killer lives on this here property. He throws people down there with rattlesnakes. Dude, that shit would have been like tactically useful for like an emergency like bug out.
Yeah.
Like if there was ever like a we got to get out of our fucking house because there's people coming or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Sneak out to that. They ain't gonna fucking find you. Bring a jug of water and a coffee can to pee and poo in.
Yep.
Yeah, they never would have fucking found you out there. They literally would have had to fucking walk right over that grate, and I lived on 16 acres of land. And it was out in the middle of it. So it's just like, pfft, they ain't gonna find you out there. Dude, I didn't own, my family owned. Our land had this rolling hill on it. It was so fucking dope. And at the bottom of that hill now sits the new house. But it used to have this rolling hill, and it sloped up and around to this higher hill. And we owned that whole fucking shit. And so my dad turned it into a dirt track because, I mean, you take the fucking Jeep up it and take the go-karts up it. We had trikes and shit, and we would take those up it. But thinking about that, dude, you could have built like a whole nother house into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like had like your house and then had like my studio could have been built into that hill. It'd have been so fucking cool.
Like a hobbit house.
Yeah. Think about how like, dude, you need like sound dampening.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than being underground, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, the exploits. Oh, the exploits. Ah. Fuck.
Just saying, man. Eminent domain backup plan.
Yeah, I'd have to unseat Brett. Somehow get his power. I'd like to take Papa Murphy's from him if I could. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, dude. You would make Papa Murphy's way better. You wouldn't have fucking 10 feet of plastic wrap around every pizza.
Yeah, there's no
You'd come up with like sustainable boxes.
Yep.
So you actually had a place to put the leftover Papa Murphy's pizza when you're done.
Yep. Oh, man.
Because it's good pizza, but it's just packaged horribly.
Yeah. Dude, I need a big, giant Swedish Hulk of a woman named Olga to just like snip, snap, crick, crack. Jawohl! Chop, 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 chop.
You can do a little bit on me, baby.
Yeah, I know.
You help me out.
Yeah, I try. Just today, a lot of tension in my neck and back and shit. Knots.
You fucking obliterated that knot in my back.
Yeah.
It hurt like hell when you were doing it, but I knew it was the good kind of hurt that would relieve it.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Gregory Johnson, your Houston chiropractor. And it's time for him to get his first ring dinger. Here it comes. You ready? I'm about to pull your skull off of your body with a towel, okay? I'm going to wrap this wet towel around your neck, and then I'm going to pull as hard as I can. And I'm going to rip your head off, okay? Yes, I've seen Dr. Gregory Johnson.
Chiropractors are a weird breed.
Yes, they are. You know what one of the funniest things is like, to this day, one of the largest chiropractic colleges is Palmer Institute.
Yeah.
And that place, the founder of it was a dude that literally claimed he could cure blind people and deaf people by cracking their necks.
Yeah.
And claimed he did it all. He's a literal huckster. And now the school that bears his name and a lot of his techniques trains like 60% of the chiropractic doctors. It's like, oh. That's why I don't go to those fucks, dude. I figure if I can do it to myself by manipulating my body, it should be okay.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. But if I'm going to have somebody fucking wrenching my goddamn spine around and shit, I don't know, bro. I just don't trust them.
Yeah, see, and even if they do help, they're fucking aggressive as shit. Like, I fucked up my neck real bad, and I went one time just to get a little bit of relief. And they were trying to sell me, it's like, oh, you gotta get this special pillow, and you gotta get these insoles, and you gotta come every 2 weeks, and you gotta do this and that.
Yeah, well, it's a fucking racket.
Which is X-rays, like that was gonna help anything. It's like, obviously I didn't break it, otherwise I wouldn't be walking.
Yeah. My tattoo, a chiropractor, and he straight up told me he went that route because it's less school, easier, and no surgeries, but same high pay. Well, there you go. Well, there you go.
Like, see, your hip is like half a centimeter higher than your other hip, so you're all fucked up.
Well, dude, Gregory Johnson, he checks your heels. He has you lay on your stomach. He says, "Go ahead and bring your heels up to your butt if you can." And the person like lifts, bends their legs back, and then he goes around behind him. He says, "Now you see, right here, his right foot is about a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch shorter than his left foot. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and pop him up here," and he goes and does all his work, and then he's like, "Now let's go ahead and do that test again." And there you go. Now you see his foot's right the same spot. It's just like, dude, you have 100% of control over that. If you just pushed a little harder on the other goddamn foot, it would be in the same spot, you dumb fuck. People watch this shit, though. And there's actually, like, it's a Palmer technique that he does, and it has the most fucking insane name. I would never let somebody do it on me. So right after he gives somebody the ring dinger, which is his own little chiropractic innovation where he literally pins you in on your back, wraps a wet towel around your head, and then jerks your goddamn fucking spine to decompress it. He does that to somebody, and then he's like, he's just finished with that, and he goes, "I'm going to go ahead and do the Palmer diversified rotary brake." And then he just like twists the person's head, and it goes, and I'm just like, dude, I would never in my fucking life let somebody manipulate me after they just said they were going to do the Palmer diversified rotary brake on my neck. No, you're not.
You know the most fucked up thing is? Health insurance will cover that.
They will, yeah.
But not massage therapists.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, dude, if you go watch this guy, my fucking impersonation of him is like literally dead on. It's a worthless impersonation to be able to do, but this is your Houston chiropractor, Dr. Gregory Johnson, here with another patient. And we're going to see if we can fix her up here today. Give her a first ring dinger. If you go watch it, Call bullshit on me, dude. It's the best impersonation of that guy you'll ever hear, and it's worthless. Because he's just some fucking kook. Dude, you have your phone out here?
Yeah.
Dude, bring it up. Dude, test me on it.
All right. Let's see. He DMCA's you. Goddamn.
Well, he won't DMCA me for it, dude. We gotta test it.
All right. So who am I looking up again?
Just put in Dr. Gregory Johnson. He's like a big white guy in nurses' scrubs. You'll know as soon as you see him.
All right. He's still going.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
a
he
new
is.
Video from like 1 day ago.
We may as well see it.
All right.
This is your Houston chiropractor, Dr. Gregory Johnson. We've got Marcus back in here today for his third adjustment here at our office. Marcus is from Denmark, and he came all the way over here to get a chiropractic adjustment from us. And what would you share with our other crack addicts worldwide about your 3 days?
That's another thing about Dr. Gregory Johnson. He calls the people that watch him on YouTube crack addicts. This is your Houston chiropractor, Dr. Gregory Johnson here. We're here with Jose. He flew all the way from Venezuela. Where'd you come from? Venezuela today. Came all the way from Venezuela to get his first adjustment here with us today. And the crack addicts are gonna love you. I've just watched too much of him.
Yeah.
I went through a phase, bro. I went
Yeah.
through a real depressive phase where I just watched Dr. Gregory Johnson.
Here's a sad fuck that drove 25 hours to go.
Oh my God, people come from all over the fucking goddamn world. We're gonna get him your ring dinger. The ring dinger is a nightmare, dude.
Hey, at least his individual videos don't get that many views. It seems like he tops out around like 15K, even though he's got almost 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, but look at his fucking high end, though.
Yeah.
He goes viral every once in a while. He's trying to find the perfect person to
Yeah.
crack. So that he
I
can.
know, that fucking oddly satisfying market is weird, but it's fucking huge on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, there's this weird thing, like, this dude that trims cow hooves has gotten fucking viral. He'll get
Dude,
like
I've watched him.
Yeah. 1 million views a video for literally shaving cow hooves.
Dude, I've watched him do it.
Yeah.
It's mesmerizing.
Like, this dude literally, he's only shaving cow hoofs so that
Dude,
they
there's not
don't-
just that. Dude, he finds abscesses in the cow hoof and he has to clean it out.
Yeah. But the only reason you trim the cow hoof is so they can get to the feet a little easier and eat a little bit more so that they can get fat
Get
enough
fat.
to be killed
Right.
earlier.
Well, yeah.
It's just so depressing. It's like, oh yeah, he's taking such good care of this little cow's hoof.
I mean, I would rather them be at least not be limping around before we kill them, you know? I mean, I guess it's, yeah, the Hoof GP, that's his name, yeah. He's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, there's got to be somebody to do that shit. At least he's being compassionate to the animals in some way. That's a positive thing. Even if they are just going to ram a steel bolt into their head and then chop them into lily liver.
I guess, yeah, they get a few weeks of not limping before that.
Yeah.
So.
What little time they're here is not full of constant agony in their foot. So there you go.
Yeah, I was looking into it. I guess it's like the fucking biggest problem with fucking people that raise cows.
The hoofs.
Cows just get fucking fucked up feet all the time.
Well, it's because we've bred them to be ginormous fucking meat factories that.
And then they're around other cows when they probably weren't that kind. They were like, you know, Roman fucking animals.
Yeah.
Now they're just stepping in their own shit all day.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't just give them shoes then. They give horses shoes. Just give the cows shoes.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes he does. Sometimes one of them.
He has like the healing shoes.
Yeah, he's a
I
little
mean,
rubber thing he puts on
but
there.
just fucking give them shoes like you give horses shoes.
I don't think you can. I think it's too sensitive in there. I think a horse has a different kind of hoof.
I don't know. Do
Horses
something.
have an actual U-shaped hoof,
Yeah.
and cows have a twin-toed hoof.
Yeah. Well, then fucking give them rubber things or whatever the fuck.
Or maybe we could just stop raising big, giant behemoth animals that get abscesses in their feet because their feet didn't evolve right to carry that huge bulk. How about that? We could fix it that way, too. These poor bastard animals, dude. Cows, we've fucked that. Dude, what were cows before we got our hands on them? Yaks?
Well, I mean, there's bison. They have to be.
What are they, though?
Yeah.
Like, what was a cow before a cow was a cow? You know what I mean? Were they yaks? What did we do to these things? Where did they come from?
Yeah.
Ox. They were ox. Aurochs? Dude, I'm going to go look up an auroch. Because I bet it looks nothing like a goddamn fucking cow, bro. They're not extinct. Aurochs are not extinct, dude. We just mutated them into huge, hideous flesh machines.
Yeah. Large wild cattle that inhabited Asia, Europe, and North Africa. Whilst the wild subspecies are extant domestic cattle are considered subspecies oryx. So I guess they are extinct.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
But not really.
we just took what was left of them and mutated them into a monstrous fucking goddamn behemoth.
You look at how fucking skinny they used to be.
Yeah, look at this animal. That looks like a functional fucking animal. Look at it. That looks like an animal that could actually, like, defend itself and probably wouldn't get giant fucking abscesses on its feet because it doesn't have a giant... Like, that looks nothing like what we've done to these things, dude.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, bro. These poor cows.
How tiny their heads got too.
Yeah, there's a side by side of what we did to this animal. There you go. We shrunk their brains, clearly. We bred them to have tiny little heads because there's less meat in the head. You know what I mean? You can't sell that as much, so we want more body meat. Look what we did to this animal. We turned it into a monster. It's a meat monster. Submissive and breedable, yeah. Indeed. We gave them monstrous tits. Oh. I gotta go poke the fire with a stick. My fire pokey stick survived the summer and is still here. This is the same fire pokey stick that I have always used. And I do think now that this is reduced not to embers, but I would say good, nice, hot coal bed, we're going to throw another couple logs on this bitch and get it roaring.
I got slippers because my toes were cold.
Well, get over there by that fire, baby.
I don't want toes.
Yeah, kick your feet up. I got to put you guys in my pocket. In the pocket you go. You know what, we're in. There it is. Oh, this looks like a good one. This is a good one. Get some of these ones here, these smaller ones. 3 smaller, oblong beard logs. Yeah, get it sprayed. Yeah. That'll get going relatively quickly. I love how... Oh, it's out of my pocket again. I forgot for a second that these idiots were in my pocket.
Don't drop it in the fire.
Oh, I kind of want to, though.
Papa squat.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Warm my balls by the fire.
Why is it turning on when we're not in there?
That's a good question.
Checking there. See if it's on.
Cricket's turning the faucet on, maybe? Jungle fowl gave birth to 16-ish eggs per year. We bred them to make 300. Anything on?
It's on.
It's weird.
It's just building up pressure.
Maybe.
We just don't notice it.
Yeah, there's probably a leak somewhere. Who cares? Just be hippie squatters out here and just refuse to leave. This is our fire pit. We are the living couple.
I mean, we could go through all the fucking bullshit of getting evicted, I guess.
That'd be fun.
The courts are so backed up that it takes them fucking 8 months to do it.
Yeah. Just really stick it to them. Really throw a wrench in their plans and let them know what it's like to have plans to move into a place or move out of a place or whatever, or live in a place and have those plans be interrupted. Man, this is starting to sound like vengeance.
Gotta get fucking lawyers.
Rocket lawyer.
I really couldn't rent again.
Probably not. But it would give us plenty of time to find a place to buy.
Do evictions affect your credit, or does it just affect?
I think it just affects your rental history. Because we're not going to be like... I don't know. That's a good question.
Then we owe the money once they finally.
I mean, that's fine. We owe them the monthly rate that we planned on paying anyway. But there's good squatting laws in California. Probably right. Probably correct. I'm out of here.